Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call this organizational meeting of Council Wednesday, July 3rd to order. What a great day for Chestermere. Today is our organizational meeting. We'll be swearing in the new mayor and new council, and then we have a few items of business to deal with. Mr. Vincent, any changes to the agenda?
Mr. Official Administrator, thank you very much. We'd like to make note that when we come to item 7.3 in the agenda, we'll be proposing a motion to defer to the July 9th regular meeting of council. And under item 7.4, we had missed part of the recommendations, which is a resolution to rescind the appointment of the official administrator to various boards and committees. That will be added to the agenda. And secondly, there will be a recommendation to defer this item for consideration by council at the July 9th regular meeting of council. Finally, sir, we had asked that section number 9, closed session, be struck from the agenda. Thank you, sir.
And Mr. Vincent, on item number 5, it is going to be introductory remarks from the mayor only. Is that correct?
That is correct. Thank you, sir, for that correction.
We could have a motion, please, to approve the agenda. Move the council approve the July 3rd, 2024 organizational council meeting agenda with the following amendments. Agenda item 7.3 deferred until July 9th, 2024. Agenda item 7.4 removal of official administrator from committees. Agenda item 9.1 removed from agenda. Agenda item 9.2 removed from the agenda. So moved. All in favor? Carried. And with that, we will proceed to move outside for the swearing-in ceremonies.
out of recess here, I believe we are moving on to item 6.1, the conflict of interest declaration form with CAO.
Mayor Dean. That sounds very good, doesn't it, sir? Under Division 6, Pecuniary Interests of Councillors in the Municipal Government Act at page 111, subject councillors have a pecuniary interest or conflict of interest in a matter if the matter could monetarily affect the councillor or an employee of the councillor, and the councillor knows or should have known that the matter could monetarily affect the councillor's family. For purposes of this section, a person is monetarily affected by the matter if the matter monetarily affects that person, yourself as a councillor directly, a corporation other than a distributing corporation in which the person is a shareholder, director, or officer, a distributing corporation which the person beneficially owns voting shares carrying at least 10% of the voting rights attached, and or a partnership or firm in which that person is a member. So these are serious matters, and to protect members of council, it is appropriate that you fill out the form attached in the agenda as soon as possible and turn it in to the CEO's office, which includes your name, your position, your declaration, any list that you wanted to provide, and have it signed and dated. So we draw this to your attention at the start of your term and would ask that a resolution be passed to accept this information and that all members of council fill out their conflict of interest declaration form and return it to the CEO's office as soon as possible. Thank you very much, Mayor Dean.
Thank you. We have a motion for that. Council, who wants to go first? I'm making a motion. Councillor Sambo.
Oh boy. I move that council accept the conflict of interest presentation as information.
All in favor? No. Kallen, is the vote going to come up on our? That motion is passed. 7.1, procedural bylaw overview. Mr. Vincent.
Mayor Dean, members of council, the Municipal Government Act Revised Statutes of Alberta 2000, Chapter M26 provides council with the authority to pass bylaws in relation to the procedures and conduct of council. A procedural bylaw may include anything that a council believes is necessary to have municipal business dealt with and conducted in a professional, expedient manner. The official administrator, through a notice of motion on December 12th of 2023, regular meeting council, directed the administration to review and update the council procedural bylaw, code of conduct bylaw, and the anti-bullying bylaw, and present to council prior to the end of January of 2024. Administration presented a request for decision at the January 9th, 2024 regular meeting, where the official administrator gave first reading to the procedural bylaw. At the January 23rd, 2024 regular meeting of council, the official administrator gave second and third reading to enact the bylaw. With the third reading, procedural bylaw 014-2022 and all amendments thereto were repealed. Procedural bylaw 001-24 And it's so fitting that that is the first bylaw in the year of 2024, incorporated a number of revisions and amendments which improved the overall functionality of the procedural bylaw and brought it more in line with the best practices for municipalities of equal size and complexity. I submit for your consideration that Council adopt the following. Council accept the administration report on the procedural bylaw 00124 as information and commit to governing themselves by all provisions of the procedural bylaw during the term you are in office. And secondly, that Council direct administration to include the procedural bylaw 00124 as part of the agenda for the Council orientation session for review and discussion. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Vincent. Council, any comments, questions on this? Can I have someone? Councilor Randall?
Motion that the council accept the administration report on the procedural bylaw 00124 as information and commit to governmenting themselves by all the provincials of the procedure bylaw during the term that they are in office.
Thank you. Comments or questions before the vote? Kallen? Councilor Sambo, I don't think yours went through. There we go. Great, and that motion is passed. And second motion? Council? Councilor Grant?
I motion that council direct administration to include the procedural bylaw 001-24 as part of the agenda for council orientation sessions for review and discussion.
Comments or questions? Kallen? Great, and that motion is passed. Code of Conduct, CAO, Mr. Vincent.
Thank you very much, Mayor Dean. Section 146.1 of the Municipal Government Act requires every council in Alberta to establish by bylaw a code of conduct governing the conduct of councillors. The code of conduct must apply to all councillors equally. Additionally, a council may, in its sole discretion by bylaw, establish a code of conduct governing conduct of members of council committees and other bodies established by council who are not councillors. For the purpose of this report, we use the term councillors, recognizing a code of conduct may apply to both councillors and members. The official administrator brought a notice of motion at the December 12, 2023 regular meeting of council, directed administration to review and update the council procedural bylaw, code of conduct bylaw, and anti-bullying bylaw. Administration presented a request for decision at the January 9th, 2024 regular meeting of council, where the official administrator gave first reading to the elected officials code of conduct bylaw 00224. The significance of the number does not escape me, because number 1 was procedural and number 2 was code of conduct, putting it at the highest echelons of propriety. At the January 23rd regular meeting of council, the official administrator gave second and third and final reading to enact the bylaw. With third reading, bylaw 00319 and bylaw 005-23 being the elected officials code of conduct and the amending elected officials code of conduct bylaw and all amendments thereto were repealed. The elected officials code of conduct bylaw 002-24 incorporated a number of revisions and amendments which improved the overall functionality of the Code of Conduct bylaw and brought it more in line with the best practices for municipalities of equal size and complexity as the city of Chestermere. Recommendation that council accept the administration report on the elected officials Code of Conduct bylaw 002-24 as information and commit to governing themselves by all the provisions and hold themselves to the standards of the elected officials Code of Conduct bylaw during the term they are in office. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Vincent, a question, if I may. This was a significant piece of what was included in requests from the minister to have our code of conduct in line and those sorts of things. Will we be receiving an update as to where that is sitting with regards to the work with the province?
Mayor Dean and members of council, there will be a full report at the council's orientation on July 16th and 17th. On the second day, the first day, of course, will be focused on governance and legal matters. And the second day will be a full report on major issues, which will include the update both on the recommendations, the 12 directives that arose out of the CUF report, and that will be part of that particular report.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Vincent. Do we have a motion? I see we have a motion. Council, Councillor Schindler?
Motion that council accept the administration report on the elected officials Code of Conduct bylaw number 002-24 as information and commit to governing themselves by all the provisions and hold themselves to the standard of the elected officials Code of Conduct bylaw during the term that they are in office.
Council, question or comments? Kallen? Great, and that motion is passed. Committees, boards, terms of reference, Mr. Morrison.
Good morning, Councillor Dean and Council, or Mayor Dean, sorry. Old habits. So as we mentioned earlier today, we're going to defer a majority of this presentation. However, we still think it is a good idea to remove Mr. Doug Lagore, former official administrator for the city of Chestermere, or at least acting official administrator, and from the following committees, since he's no longer a resident nor an elected official per se. So.
Great, thank you. So then procedurally, we're going to defer the one item and then make a motion on this item. Is that?
I would rather do this motion first, then we defer.
Thank you.
The rest of it.
So we have the first motion then, please. Oh, I see it now. Sorry, thank you. Council? Councillor Warzanowski?
I move the motion that council remove Doug Lagore from the following committees: Joint Planning Area 2 Trilateral Committee, Subdivision and Development Appeal Board, Grant Adjudication Committee, the Calgary Metropolitan Region Board, the Calgary Intermunicipal Committee, the Rocky View County Intermunicipal Committee. Are there more? And that's it.
Council, questions, comments? The vote, please, Kallen. Great, thank you. That motion is passed. And then the next motion then, please. Awesome. Council? Councillor Schindler?
Motion that council defer the remainder of 7.3 to the July 9th, 2024 regular meeting of council.
Questions, comments, council? No. Call for the vote, Kallen? Great, that motion is passed. Thanks, everyone. So we are now on to, I believe, item 8.1, the council meeting dates, also from Mr. Morrison.
Excuse me, Your Worship, I'd like you to consider 7.4 and a resolution to defer this item as well to the July 9th regular meeting.
Oh, I apologize. Sorry about that. Council? Someone to make the motion? Councillor Sambo?
I move that council defer the remainder of 7.4 to the July 9th, 2024 regular meeting of council.
Questions, comments? Call for a vote.
Sorry, point of order. It will just be the entirety of 7.4, not the remainder. Sorry, that was a...
Would you like us to restate the motion then?
Yes, that would be preferred.
Councillor Sambo, can you restate the motion, please?
Is it sufficient to restate the motion? Do I need to rescind my statement? No, we're good? Okay. No. Motion that council defer the agenda item 7.4 to the July 9th, 2024 regular meeting of council.
Good. Call for the vote. Great. Thank you. Thank you for catching that, CAO, Mr. Vincent. Now I believe we're moving on to 8.1, the council meeting dates.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. Today I'm seeking the motion that Council adopt the 2024 council meeting dates as presented. As per, for the subject and background, as per the Municipal Government Act, a council may decide at a council meeting, such as today, to schedule regular meetings of council on specific dates, times, and places. Once adopted, and if a scheduled council meeting needs to be changed, canceled, or so on and so forth, the city must provide at least 24 hours of notice for the public of said changes. As we scroll down, we can see the scheduled meeting. So it's essentially what it was published last year, every other Tuesday, with the addition of a governance and priorities meetings. Currently known as CAB, will soon be changed to governance priorities, to be on every other Tuesday. So if we look at, let's say, for July, we have, council meetings, governance and priorities. As for August, we do not typically schedule regular council meetings, as it is last week's of summer, and usually it's a little warmer and nicer. So councilors tend to take vacations around this time. However, since there's no regular council meeting scheduled, there's nothing stopping council from scheduling special council meetings if something comes up. So just to repeat the motion, motion that council adopt the 2024 council meeting dates as presented. Oh, lastly, I forgot. It only goes till October 22nd. That's when our organizational meeting is, and that's when you will pick the remainder November, December, as well as 2025. So, and can we just have the motion up, please? Thank you.
Question, if I may. So we know that we have our orientation that's coming up July 16th, 17th, with lots of what I suspect will be some great conversation. And seeing as how this is our first council meeting coming right off of swearing in, we can, from a procedural standpoint, make changes at, say, the meeting at the end of July for subsequent meetings in August, September, that sort of thing. Would that be correct?
That's correct.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Also, if I may, Your Worship, I'm pleased to confirm that I received news this morning from the consultant. Council's strategic plan would be scheduled for July 24th and 25th It's not in this agenda or this calendar at the present time. It does not have to be included because only council's regular meeting and committee meetings need to be scheduled to give public advance notice. But I'm pleased to share that information with you at this particular time.
Great, thank you for that. I think that's something that, sorry. I think that's something this council is really looking forward to getting to work on, is a strategic plan and being able to come forward and bring that to the public in short order to be able to just help set some direction for what we want to do. So that's exciting that we've gotten that message back so quickly. And I just want to say thank you, Mr. Vincent, for that work on getting that set up in short order. Any other questions in regards to the scheduling? Councillor Sambo?
A low stakes question, Your Worship. I'll get used to that.
Or Mayor Dean is fine.
Your Worship is very suitable, very appropriate. The procedural bylaw currently doesn't say governance and priorities. So low stakes question, but is it acceptable to approve the schedule saying governance and priorities while we still have committee of the whole and procedural bylaw?
Through the chair to Councillor Sambo, I believe this is, I think it's very little harm to be done. It will eventually be changed. So instead of coming back to council for seeking another approval, I think we're just kind of putting the cart before the horse a little bit, but procedurally, I believe this is fine.
I think it's a great catch, though. I had a similar question because that is what it states in our procedural bylaw. And we have talked about the fact that we want to have those conversations at that July 16th, 17th meeting. So I do like the name change, though, to the governance and priorities. I think that's a strong choice from administration to come forward with that recommendation for the name choice there. Any other questions, comments? Okay, great. Call for the motion. Councillor Randhawa?
Motion that the council adopt 2024 council meeting date as presented.
And call for the vote. I think everybody has voted. Oh, there we go. Thank you. And that motion is carried. And then moving on to deputy mayor appointments, presented again by Mr. Kallen Morrison.
Good morning, Mayor and Council. Today, administration is seeking the motion that Council appoint Councillor Murray Grant as Deputy Mayor for a term of 4 months. As per the Municipal Government Act, Council must appoint one councillor and only one to hold the title of Deputy Mayor, and this title must be filled at all times. Bylaw 001-24, being the procedural bylaw, states that Council must appoint a member of Council to be Deputy Mayor for a term of 4 months. The position of Deputy Mayor is to fill the role of Mayor when the Mayor is unavailable to fill said duties, such as preside over, as the Chair over Council meetings when the Mayor is unavailable, and to perform other duties of the Chair. Once again, administration is seeking the motion that Council appoint Councillor Grant Murray as Deputy Mayor for a term of 4 months. And Grant Murray was appointed because his name is alphabetically the first to appear as according to our procedural bylaw.
Right. Within that, does he first have to accept the nomination?
Councillor Murray is more than welcome to decline the role.
But I believe formally we asked the question, do we not? Do you accept the nomination and then we make the motion? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's correct. So, Councillor Grant, do you accept the nomination for position of Deputy Mayor?
It would be my honor.
Awesome. So then we will call for the motion. Councillor Warzanowski?
Motion that Council appoint Murray Grant as our Deputy Mayor for a term of 4 months.
Comments, questions? Call for the vote. Thank you. That's motion's carried. Congratulations, Councillor Grant. Now Deputy Mayor Grant on your promotion
Thank you.
Promotion. Have you ever gotten such a promotion, within the first hour of receiving a new job?
No, this is the first.
That's a very fast promotion there.
It's very good.
You still get to keep all your other responsibilities.
Speech.
That's awesome. So I do believe that the closed session was removed. So I believe that we are now at call for adjournment to the meeting.
Mayor Dean, members of council, it's been a tremendous morning. It's monumental in the history of the city of Chestermere. Yeah, very proud to serve as your CEO at this particular time. Looking forward to working with council. And as we said, the storm clouds have parted and the sun is shining brightly on the future of Chestermere. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. I think, Council, I would open just for a moment, if we may. There is a sense of excitement, I believe, on everybody sitting on the other side of this desk for the future of Chestermere. And I'm looking forward to, as I said outside during the speech, I'm looking forward to working with all of us and administration and staff on moving our community forward. So it's a great day for Chestermere, absolutely. Great. So then I'll call for the motion to adjourn.
Mr. Morrison, does the mayor need to have a motion, or can he just simply call for adjournment?
Typically, we, as Dean would remember, we usually had a motion to adjourn, although I don't think that's necessary. Mayor, the chair of the meeting can just adjourn the meeting. So
Whatever your preference is.
Do I call for the motion to adjourn and then we vote on it, or I just adjourn it?
it's up to you.
Oh, okay. I'd like to call for a motion to adjourn the meeting at 10:13 a.m. All in favor? Call for the vote. Great, that motion is carried. Thank you.
If I could ask everybody to stay, I've asked Mayor Dean to present the official administrator the framed banner, which was presented to the official administrator at the last meeting of council. We finally got it framed, so Mr. Lagore, you come forward and accept this tribute from the staff.
Yeah, I think it'd be great, Council, if we all come down here and present this to